When we got back into Prian Lake, another boat went by or a jet ski and gave us a little bit of a wake. He started throwing his hands in the air and saying, "Wee, wee," and he'd say, "Again, again." That, I think, was my favorite trip because I said, that's why I do this.
Thanks for joining us on Louisiana's Playground Podcast, your roadmap to all things Lake Charles, Louisiana. I'm Brady Raynard.
And I'm Jillian Corder. We're excited to bring you another episode here today with the authentic stories and experiences of Southwest Louisiana. We've got all the tools you need to build your own personal Lake Charles itinerary.
Episode 94 on deck, and we're doing some selfish dreams, which I think is funny that they're called selfish dreams, and they're anything but selfish. You kind of made that point during the conversation.
Yeah, it is very much the opposite of that. Selfish is a play on words with Miss Paula Michalko, who we interview today, and it's a great conversation.
Yeah, and they talk about accessible boat trips for both the elderly or those with special needs. A very cool conversation as we dive into that. But before we dive into a conversation, let's dig into some food. You know what time it is.
It's that segment we like to call On V Eats.
And, you know, we call it that because that's its name. We're going to Citizen's Choice restaurant located on Kirkman Street. And I love their story.
Is it a restaurant? You can tell it's a restaurant because of the way it is.
That's it. That's pretty neat. Citizen's Choice was a food truck for a few years, about 4 years, before opening their brick and mortar store. And I love what they've been able to do with the restaurant because it's a success story, right?
Sure.
It's the food truck that turns into a restaurant because the people clamored for it, the citizens, if you will.
That's right. And of course, the name Citizen's Choice, not only a play on words because people have a choice, man. They can come eat here
That's what the people want.
And choose from some really good food options, too. But also, it's their last name. So Jamar Citizen owns the place. His wife, Whitley, is there, too. So say hi to Jamar. He's also the cook. So he's kind of the mastermind behind all the food.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And his mom. So it's a real family affair between the Citizen family. And they've got, you know, everything you can expect when it comes to home-cooked meals. They've got some soul food. It's all the family recipes. They eat, like he says, it's rice and gravy. Like that is the backbone of what they do there. And it's all very, very good. And I had to, because I saw it, they call it the Boss Man. I didn't quite want all of it because I wanted to try something else, but I wanted to have the wings. The wings looked amazing, and they brought out 6 of the biggest wings I've ever seen. From side to side, 6 wings took up the entire plate. Like, that's worth a 10-piece anywhere else. And there was a lot of different flavors. We ended up going with the Asian Zing because they put like a chili crisp on top. Such a good crunch because they batter it and fry it first, and then they go with the sauce. So there's a good kick and crunch. They season it as well before they actually put the flavor power on it, the Asian Zing sauce. It was so good, sticky and sweet. It was everything that you wanted in an Asian Zing wing, and the chicken itself was amazing. I want to try the buffalo and a few of the other flavors. I'm very interested in trying, but if you get the Boss Man or get any of the orders of wings, you can't go wrong because they're huge.
Yeah.
Huge, absolutely huge.
Yeah, a lot of people, I feel like, get wings and something when they go places, you know? Like wings is like an appetizer almost. Not this.
I know I've said the Boss Man a few times. It comes with 2 sides and a cornbread. You will be stuffed.
You don't need anything more than that.
You will be stuffed.
So so you did eat that and then still had room for a little bit more, though.
I did, yeah. I went with the oxtail, which, funny enough, Citizen's Choice, they put it back on the menu because enough people said, dude, where's the oxtail?
Oh, wow.
I want the oxtail, and it's not here. And he said, all right, look, it's Citizen's Choice.
By popular demand.
Exactly. So they put the oxtail on there. Great flavor. You know, it's what you look for, right? With the oxtail, great taste. It's such a rich taste, too, on the oxtail. It's a little unique for what it is. The gravy is so good on the rice, and it's a good meat gravy, homemade gravy. Exactly what you want. So good. The mac and cheese I got on the side of it, super cheesy, thick sauce. Like my perfect mac and cheese, right? Like, it's not runny. It's a thick cheese sauce. It's not dry. Perfect. It's super seasoned as well. And I got their yams as well. It's a good butter and cinnamon flavor, which you look for with the yams. It's savory. Obviously, that quasi dessert
Yep.
taste that only yams and sweet potatoes can bring.
Yep.
And then they give a piece of cornbread, and it's a good thick cornbread as well. A hint of cinnamon, I think.
And the cornbread?
Yeah, a hint of cinnamon. So obviously that family recipe, it's good. It's good either dipped in the gravy or dipped in hot sauce. Either way, I had them both. Wonderful. And so it's just a great soul food, homemade food, rice and gravy, southern, South Louisiana, however you want to split it. It fits the bill, and it's very, very good and very, very filling.
Yes, and I got a very filling plate as well. Mine, went with the beef tips and gravy. Really hard to pass up for me. Beef was super tender, fell apart when, poked it with a fork and boom, there it goes, which is what I'm
chasing it around the plate.
Yeah, I'm always looking for that, right?
Yep.
So really crazy tender, really well seasoned. The gravy was so delicious, very, very good. And like you said, classic rice and gravy is that homemade soul food. Feels familiar, even though it's my first time eating there. It's like I know this meal. It's nostalgic in some way. Had it with the green beans and corn. To me, that was a perfect pairing on those sides because to me, beef tips and gravy can be a little heavy, right? That's a real solid, hearty lunch for me.
You eating.
So I don't need as much on the side. So green beans and corn were a good fit for that one. And then again, the sweet cornbread with it too. I liked the cornbread. I don't know if I tasted the cinnamon in it, but it did have a little sweet to it, and I really liked it. But you're a connoisseur.
Some of us are super tasters.
You are. You have a very refined cornbread palate.
I need to get my tongue checked. I want they could do the tongue check.
The mapping.
Well, yeah, if you have a certain number of taste buds in a certain circle, you can be a super taster. And so I want to get tested. I think I might be a super taster.
Do they do that at your local pharmacy?
I don't know. I think you can get a kit on like supertaster.com, .net,
You can order a taster test in the okay, interesting. Well, you let me know how that goes.
Hey, chat, do you think I should? Definitely a must try though if you are looking for that rice and gravy home cooked meal fix.
Yeah, this is the place to be. Citizens Choice is close to downtown. It's close to the interstates. It's right in like mid-city, Lake Charles. Easy access and a fun spot to try.
From a great meal to a great guest, we welcome on Paula Michalko, a Lake Charles native whose family ventures started her about 6 years ago in 2020 to start Selfish Dreams. She's the owner and president. It's a 501c3 organization that helps the elderly and special needs get out on the water and kind of connect with nature because we all know how therapeutic it truly can be. Welcome to the show, Paula.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Paula, we like to start out all of our conversations with some rapid fire questions so that people get to know how you play in Louisiana's playground. Are you ready?
I am so ready.
Okay. Crawfish or gumbo?
Crawfish.
She seems unsure. Her face
Because I
reads
love both of
unsurety.
them. Sure. How about crawfish gumbo?
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a cheat. I like that one. I think I probably know the answer to this next one. Poolside or beachside?
Beachside.
Yeah.
I just love the water, though.
Yeah, just nature in general.
Yes, outside.
Yeah, I got that.
But a boat is obviously the even more preferable answer.
Right. So, because if you're at the beach and you see a boat, you wish you were on the boat. I very seldom am on a boat looking at the beach wishing I was on the beach.
I wish I would be
It doesn't.
there anyway.
It doesn't work that way, does
No.
it? When you're on the boat, you're like, no, this is the place to be.
That's right.
Okay, last one: concert or comedy show?
Concert.
Okay, what are you listening to? What are you jamming out to?
Oh, gosh, I have so many different interests in music. There's a Sirius XM channel called The Bridge that I love.
Okay.
It's a lot of 70s and Eagles. And
I think I might have that one saved.
yeah, I love it. I love
classic rock.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course. Well, look, I think Selfish Dreams is such a clever and memorable name. Can you talk a little bit about the name, what kind of made you choose that? And then, of course, the core mission of what you started.
it. Sure. As you said at the beginning, my name is Paula Michalko. My maiden name is Self. My dad was Lee Self. And so the name Self obviously came from my family, and the selfish part of it was how much I enjoyed it and wanted to do it. And it was just the word dreams. As I was getting to retirement age, to do something somewhere with people to serve, have a purpose, a mission in my retirement, because I felt like I was still young enough to do something. That thought it kind of made me cry a little bit because it reminded me of how much I enjoyed it when I was growing up and that I couldn't do it anymore unless someone else took me. So when I was retiring, I thought there might be other people like that, like my dad, who was too old to do it by himself anymore. He didn't have a boat anymore. And I thought, well, maybe that could be something I could do for other people. And I prayed a lot about it. And I mean, I could spend the whole time we're here today telling you all the different ways God spoke to me and told me that, this is what you're going to do. But one of them was my husband wrote a children's book for our grandkids. All the grandkids are the characters in the book. And to get it published, we really didn't know what to do. So we went to the old city hall, and somebody was giving a talk on how to get your book published. She started the whole talk out with a book called What Do You Do with an Idea? And it is the most amazing book. It's a kid's book, I suppose, but it starts out, this little boy has, an idea, and he doesn't know what to do with it, and it follows him around everywhere. And he doesn't want anyone to see it because he's afraid they'll make fun of him. And he hides it until it grows too big where he can't hide it anymore. And now everyone knows about it. And some people did make fun of him and tell him his idea was stupid and that he would never be able to do that. So I'm sitting in this room for my husband to learn how to publish a book, and that lady's talking to me. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay. I'm sitting here crying in that talk. And when we left the meeting, I said, hey, Paul, remember that idea I told you I had about a boat? I said, I think I need to do it. He said, oh, God, please keep praying about it. I hope she
wasn't talking to you, Paul.
Yeah, we were here for me. So anyway, I knew, and there was several other things like that had happened. So I was sitting at home on a Friday evening, and my phone rang, and it was a friend of mine, Charmaine Yelverton. And she said, Jamie wants to buy a new boat. In fact, I think he already bought one. And we heard what you want to do with a pontoon boat, and we want to give you our old one. So that solved the problem of the boat. I had a 24-foot pontoon boat, motor and trailer, just donated, to the cause. And weren't able to go out on the boat that year because of COVID.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. But I spent that summer reupholstering the boat seats because
Gave you time to get it ready.
Didn't have anything else to do. Got a new bimini for it and stuff. But anyway, so that's how it started.
Well, your absolute passion and obviously really strong emotion with this is so refreshing, and I love it so much because it shows that selfish might be the name of it. It's the opposite of that, right? It really is, because you're so focused on other people and wanting to do this for other people. How did you determine, okay, this is who I'm going to serve and this is how we're going to do it?
Well, it started out, like I said, my dad couldn't go he couldn't go, take a boat out anymore. And so I thought, well, I'll do this for seniors. And in setting up the 501c3, you do have to determine who you're going to serve in that kind of a 501c3. And so I thought, well, I don't want to limit it just to seniors. Let's go with anybody who is disabled in any way or handicapped or special needs, or really anybody who wants to go on a boat who can't. But that's a little bit of an exception. Most of the time, it's going to be seniors or people with special needs. That's the requirement, sort of, but it's gray,
And this experience for them is completely at no cost.
Right? Right. There's no cost. It doesn't cost anything. And that's because I have a few, and it's very few, but just what I need. God provided a few people who are willing to continue every year, to support me.
So when they get on and you kind of take off, whether it be someone that maybe has never been on the water before in that capacity, or someone that hasn't been on maybe in decades, in the case of maybe an elderly, what's that like on their face? What's that feeling?
Sometimes it takes a little bit to see any reaction from them. But sometimes they just can't wait to get on. And like Tuesday of this week, there was a gentleman who was his first time on my boat, but he's used to doing that decades ago, like you said. And he said, man, I just wish I had a fishing pole. I said, well, then you need to book a fishing trip next time because I'll take you fishing, And the whole time we were on the boat, he said, I just wish I had a fishing pole. But they love it. And a lot of people have never, even if they did grow up here and maybe water ski in Prairie Lake Park or whatever, a lot of them have never been down Contraband Bayou.
Yeah.
So, and they see the ships at the port because that's where, we go into the bayou. The wildlife is amazing and they love identifying birds for me. I don't know them. I should be a better tour guide and tell them what everything is, but I'm not very good at it.
And like you said, so you can book a tour that is simply a cruise around the area, or you can book a fishing trip too.
Right. Now, I'm not a guide, so there are no guarantees. But I can say we have not been skunked yet.
Well, that's good.
We even if it's hardhead catfish, they love
Counts.
catching those.
Fish is a fish.
That's correct. And they do enjoy that very much. And they're much smaller bookings. I don't like more than 2 or 3 people fishing because it just gets a little scary. And most of my trips are boat rides because it's usually a nursing home or one of the assisted living facilities or a group home of adult autistic men or women. St. Nicholas Center came a couple of times with their kids on a break. Autism Services, I think that is the right name, has some group homes, and those guys and girls have been a lot of times, and they're used to coming. There's a group of men from the Veranda that, they got on the first time, and they're very knowledgeable because they lived here all their lives, and maybe they worked at one of the plants or they fished around here a lot, and they have a lot to talk about as we drive. And so we get into the bayou, and it's very slow and a little too slow pace for them maybe because we go all the way to Sail Road, and we come back up, and then we just go back to Prairie Lake Park. Unless we have time, then we run through Lake Charles as well and look at the Civic Center and the new stuff going on right here. So the second time this group of men got on their life jackets, and they said, okay, so we went down the bayou last time. We want to go south this time. Well, I hadn't been south yet in my boat. I mean, not that I can't, but, I had not done that, and I would prefer to have done it by myself first.
Yeah.
And I always have a first mate with me. I have a list of friends and family that help me, support me, and come with me, so I'm not by myself. And anybody who can't live independently has to have a caregiver with them. I call them a deckhand. So I'm not dealing with the people on the boat. I'm just dealing with the boat. So anyway, we just headed down the ship channel and got to Moss Lake and almost to the beginning of Big Lake and came back. We saw some dolphins, and I mean, it was great. But that was the first time I'd been south because they didn't want the same thing. So the third time they came on, they said, we want to go up the river this time.
You got to stop making requests.
So we did head north that third time they came. And we didn't go through the locks. We just went.
Yeah,
we went
right up.
Right up to him.
So often on the podcast, because we're Southwest Louisiana themed here, so often we're talking about nature and outdoors. We talk about how therapeutic being outdoors is. Why do you think that's so vital? An experience like this?
Because I think a lot of the people that I serve don't get out and experience just the sunshine and the air and the sky and the water and the wildlife. They don't see it. And there's just something about the wind in your face and the water and the waves. And I don't know what the psychological or mental therapeutic recipe is. I just know that I love it, and all the people that come on the boat do.
And with that, how do you tailor that experience to those of different needs to each feel comfortable? Does it have a lot to do with, like you said, having each of them have somebody with them that they're familiar with? Is that probably the biggest thing?
Yes. And you'll see with the autism services with those young men and young women that are on those boat rides, especially those are sometimes really close physically close, sitting close to their caregivers. They bring aides, and they know how many aides they need per person, And usually there's 2 or 3 on the boat, and then there's 3 or 4 of the autistic adults that are with them. And you can see that they're interacting together and that they're comfortable with each other.
Sure.
And same thing with some of the elderly. There was a little boy that I think, I know his father found out about Selfish Dreams on Visit Lake Charles, because he called or looked online for something that he could do with all of his family. He's from New York, and he has a little girl that had a near drowning at the age of 2 and comes to see Dr. Kyle Daigle for some kind of therapy that is doing things for her that no one else thought she would ever be able to do. And it was a couple of years ago that she came, and I think at that time she was probably about 10, but she was severely disabled, and I couldn't see a change in her, as we went on the boat ride, but they did, and they just absolutely loved and want to come back, when
That's
they can.
wonderful.
They don't get to come very often. I think they're both school teachers, and they have to save money to be able to come down here and take advantage of Dr. Daigle. But there's a little, well, he's not little, he's small, but I think he's probably about 20 years old. And his mom, who is his adopted mom, was an aide in his special ed class when he was little. And he lost his parents, and she and her husband adopted him when he was little. And she wanted to bring him and some of his cousins on the boat. So there was a whole bunch of people, on the boat. And he had zero expression, none. He just sat in the seat. And we went up the bayou, and everybody was having a good time, but he just showed zero expression. And when we got back into Prian Lake, another boat went by, or a jet ski, and gave us a little bit of a wake. And when we went over it, he started throwing his hands in the air and saying, "Wee, wee," and he'd say, "Again, again," over and over and over. So I just started going in circles, making waves for him, and that, I think, was my favorite trip.
Wow.
Probably my favorite trip, because I said, that's why I do this.
It's so beautiful to be able to see the reason why you do it play out, right? Like instant gratification. Yep,
Yes.
That's why I'm still doing this.
Yes.
Yep. That's wonderful. What does the future look like for your group?
As long as I can do this, I'm going to keep doing it. I don't want to grow. I don't want, somebody said, "Oh, you should get more boats." And this is all I want to do. And I have 17 grandkids, one on the way, and they tell me that they'll keep it going when I'm gone. So we'll see, how that pans out.
I love that, though.
I'm hoping.
And for those who want to sign up, want to get their group together or come out or even volunteer their time or make a donation, which is really important to keep you guys going, right? How should people do that?
They can look on my website. There's a schedule there. They can book online. My phone number is also online. Most of my bookings come from phone calls, but there is my schedule's on there as well. Selfishdreams.org, 2 F's, SELFFISH dreams.org. And I have a Facebook page that also can give them information.
And about how many trips a year are you currently giving out?
Between 25 and 40, probably.
Okay.
I've already got 5 scheduled just in the last 2 weeks. So by the end of April, I think we're getting ready to finish April. We probably will have had about 8 or 9 in April.
And you mentioned nursing homes and groups homes and things like that, taking advantage of your services, but you can be an individual or a family that just wants to come out too, right?
Absolutely. There was another family that came because they went to visit Lake Charles and saw that we did this. And this was a young woman who lives in Sulphur, whose grandfather or father lives in Mexico City, and he was coming to town. And he was 65 or older, and that's all you have to be, is 65 or older, or have a special need, or if you just want to really go out and you can't do it any other way, let me know, and we'll see what we can do for that as well.
Built for everybody.
Thanks again to Paula for joining us here on the show, and the biggest thank you of all goes out to you, the listener, for taking time out of your day to listen to this here podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a rating or review wherever you listen, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, your Samsung refrigerator, wherever. We appreciate it.
Did they play podcasts?
They probably do.
That's cool.
I saw someone had Skyrim on it or whatever. So
That's ridiculous. Anyways, leaving that rating or review helps us grow our audience and further share the unique experiences that Lake Charles and all of Southwest Louisiana has to offer. Go to visitLakeCharles.org/podcast for more episodes, advice on where to eat, and events that are happening this weekend. I'm Jillian Corder.
And I'm Brady Raynard. Thanks again for coming to play at Louisiana's Playground. Sit you.